The Young and the Restless, the battle for Abbott Communications, a high-stakes power struggle between Sally and Phyllis. The battle for control over Abbott Communications takes a dramatic turn as Sally Spectra and Phyllis Summers find themselves on opposite sides of a fierce and escalating conflict. Their rivalry not only threatens to tear apart the foundation of Abbott Communications but also exposes the hidden agendas of the characters involved. In this high-stakes storyline, Sally's determination to drive Phyllis out of the company puts her on a collision course with both Phyllis and Billy Abbott, and the repercussions will send shockwaves through Genoa City. The catalyst for the conflict, Phyllis's manipulative schemes. The tension begins to rise as Phyllis, ever the schemer, seeks to ensure her continued place at Abbott Communications. She presents herself as the loyal, committed employee to Billy Abbott, but her motives quickly become apparent. Phyllis insists that she remains fully dedicated to the company's success, yet she subtly pressures Billy to guarantee that her son, Daniel, will have a future at Abbott Communications once he is ready to rejoin the workforce. Billy, caught in the middle of this delicate situation, finds himself unable to give Phyllis a clear answer. He knows that Daniel, despite his talent, needs to focus on his personal growth before returning to the company, but the promise Phyllis demands is something Billy struggles to fulfill. He recognizes that Daniel's path to success will require much more than just a position at Abbott Communications. It requires focus, determination, and commitment. However, Phyllis's insistence on having things her way begins to rattle Billy. He becomes increasingly frustrated by her inability to understand the boundaries between family and business, and this growing tension sets the stage for the inevitable clash between Phyllis and Sally. Sally's growing influence and her agenda. Sally Spectra, on the other hand, has an entirely different approach. Unlike Phyllis, Sally does not take a measured or diplomatic route. Her mind is focused on the bigger picture. Abbott Communications must remain a strong and united front, and Phyllis, in her eyes, is a liability that could bring everything crashing down. As the two women continue to clash, it becomes clear that Sally is not just worried about Phyllis's disruptive behavior. She sees Phyllis as a major threat to the company's future. Sally's position is simple: the longer Phyllis remains involved, the more damage she could do. She knows that Phyllis's need for control and her unpredictable nature could lead to disaster. With a level of cunning and ambition that has served her well in the past, Sally is determined to get Billy to see things her way. In a crucial meeting with Billy, Sally's frustration boils over. After Phyllis leaves the meeting, having been given little in terms of what she wanted, Sally takes the opportunity to express her concerns about Billy's too soft approach. She does not mince words, telling him that his kindness is his weakness. Sally warns him that allowing Phyllis to linger in the company will be disastrous for Abbott Communications, and she doesn't shy away from telling Billy that he needs to make a tough decision before it's too late. Phyllis's emotional outbursts and Sally's strategic push. Phyllis, ever the emotional and manipulative force, is quick to lash out when things don't go her way. Her frustration with Billy's refusal to meet her demands is palpable, and she directs much of her anger toward Sally. Phyllis accuses Sally of trying to undermine her role in the company, and the animosity between the two women escalates. Sally, however, is undeterred by Phyllis's outbursts. In fact, it only strengthens her resolve. Sally knows that she is playing the long game, and she is prepared to do whatever it takes to ensure that Phyllis no longer has a foothold in Abbott Communications. She believes that Billy, despite his innate kindness, needs to realize that sometimes harsh decisions are necessary for the greater good. Sally takes on the role of Billy's advisor, pushing him to sever ties with Phyllis before she causes irreparable damage. Her words cut deep. Phyllis is reckless, and her behavior is threatening not only Abbott Communications but also the very fabric of Billy's leadership. Sally's argument is clear: Phyllis is a destabilizing force, and unless Billy acts quickly, he risks losing everything he's worked so hard to build. The escalating battle for control. The stakes continue to rise as Phyllis digs in her heels. She refuses to back down and, in doing so, further alienates herself from Billy and Sally. Her demand that Billy guarantee a place for Daniel at Abbott Communications only serves to deepen the rift between the two women, and as the conflict plays out, Billy is caught in the middle, forced to choose between his loyalty to Phyllis and his long-term goals for Abbott Communications. Billy's hesitance only adds fuel to the fire, creating a tense dynamic between him and Sally. While Sally sees a clear path forward, Billy's natural inclination is to avoid confrontation. However, as the pressure mounts, he will be forced to confront the reality of the situation. Can he make the hard choices needed to preserve the integrity of Abbott Communications, or will his hesitation lead to the company's downfall? As Sally continues to push Billy to act decisively, it becomes clear that this power struggle is not just about Phyllis's role in the company, it is about the future of Abbott Communications itself. The company's direction and stability are at stake, and the battle for control will have long-lasting implications for everyone involved. A power struggle with personal stakes. This storyline is more than just a corporate drama, it is a battle for personal power, loyalty, and legacy. Billy's relationship with Phyllis has always been complicated, and his bond with Sally is just beginning to develop. As the stakes grow higher, the personal dynamics between the three characters will shape the course of the conflict. Will Billy choose to listen to Sally and cut Phyllis loose, or will he hold on to the familiar, despite the danger it poses to Abbott Communications? Phyllis's manipulative tactics may prove to be her downfall, but it remains to be seen whether Billy can find the strength to make the tough decisions necessary to secure the future of the company. In the end, this battle between Sally and Phyllis is a pivotal moment in the series, one that will undoubtedly set the stage for future power struggles and shifting alliances. As Genoa City holds its breath, fans can expect a thrilling ride ahead, one filled with twists, turns, and high-stakes drama. The fate of Abbott Communications rests in the hands of those brave enough to take charge and make the hard decisions. Will Sally's vision for the company triumph, or will Phyllis's unpredictable nature prove too much to handle? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain, the battle for Abbott Communications is far from over. The Young and the Restless, Tessa, Daniel, and Phyllis, a journey of discovery and frustration in The Young and the Restless. The tension between the characters of Daniel, Tessa, and Phyllis is taking new and interesting turns. Their interactions are about more than just business or family. They are about personal growth, guidance, and the hidden emotions that often fuel the most intriguing soap opera drama. As Daniel struggles with his career and personal life, Tessa steps in to offer advice, while Phyllis, as always, inserts herself into situations, determined to make sure things go her way. This dynamic creates a storyline filled with surprises, heartwarming moments, and some unexpected conflicts. Daniel's struggles. A man in search of purpose. Daniel Romalotti, once known for his free-spirited personality and artistic vision, is now at a crossroads in his life. Though he's had his share of successes in Genoa City, he's currently struggling to find his next move. His creativity has been stifled, and his sense of purpose is wavering. Gone are the days when Daniel could effortlessly glide through life, doing what he loved and letting his passion guide him. He's now left wondering if there's more to life than his current routine. In an attempt to distract himself from his spiraling thoughts, Daniel is forced to confront a new problem: how to reignite the spark that once drove him. Tessa Porter, his confidant and friend, notices Daniel's internal battle and takes it upon herself to lift his spirits. In a light-hearted yet meaningful gesture, she bakes him a batch of cookies. This seemingly small act is not just about food, it's a metaphorical offering of warmth and comfort, a reminder that even in the darkest times, a little sweetness can go a long way. Tessa's baking represents her desire to help Daniel find his way out of his funk. As she hands him the cookies, Tessa offers a bit of advice, urging Daniel to consider a new direction in his life. She suggests he pursue something that might challenge him creatively but in a way he hasn't considered before. Her words are carefully chosen, as she understands that Daniel's creative juices have been flowing in one direction for far too long, and it's time to break free from his own self-imposed limitations. Tessa's secret idea, the power of music. Tessa, who is no stranger to the pressures of balancing her artistic pursuits with the reality of life, has been mulling over an idea of her own. As a musician, she knows that creativity often ebbs and flows, especially when faced with obstacles. Recently, she has been grappling with her own struggles in composing music. To combat this, she decides to learn how to play the harmonica, seeing it as a fun and simple instrument that might help her break through her writer's block. But while Tessa is trying to help herself, she also realizes that her new hobby could serve as the perfect solution for Daniel's problems. The harmonica, in its simplicity and soulfulness, could be a metaphor for what Daniel needs. Something small and uncomplicated that might open the floodgates to his own creativity. The idea comes to her one night when she's reflecting on her own experiences as an artist. She considers that, perhaps, helping Daniel tap into a new avenue of expression might provide the breakthrough he needs. However, she is hesitant to bring it up to him immediately. She knows Daniel can be resistant to new ideas, especially when he's feeling down about his own capabilities. Tessa fears that if she reveals her plan too soon, he might not take it seriously. When she finally does bring up the idea, Daniel is, as expected, skeptical. He laughs off the notion and warns her not to mock him for considering something so out of left field. Tessa, however, knows that this could be the key to helping him discover new aspects of his creativity, and she encourages him to give it a try. While the idea may seem frivolous at first glance, it has the potential to help Daniel rediscover his love for music and art, and that's what truly matters. Phyllis's intervention, a new level of tension. Meanwhile, Phyllis Summers enters the picture, as she is wont to do, always looking to control the narrative. She's noticed the bond forming between Tessa and Daniel, and, as expected, she's not pleased with the idea of someone else stepping in to give her son advice. She's been trying to play the role of the guiding figure in Daniel's life, and Tessa's involvement in his personal development starts to feel like a challenge to her authority. Phyllis demands a private conversation with Daniel, eager to clear the air and push her own perspective. She believes that, as his mother, she is the one who should be guiding him through this difficult time, and she insists that Daniel still has much to learn under her tutelage. Phyllis wants to remind him of the importance of Abbott communications and how vital it is for his future. She believes that her influence, both in business and in family, can help him navigate these turbulent waters. However, Daniel is not receptive to Phyllis's approach. He's already made it clear to her that his views on Abbott communications are set in stone, and no amount of coaxing from his mother will change that. He has his own path to follow, one that doesn't involve being swept back into the family business. When Phyllis learns that Daniel has been turning to Tessa for guidance rather than her, she is understandably frustrated. She cannot understand why Daniel would seek advice from someone else, particularly Tessa, whom Phyllis has never viewed as a viable mentor for her son. She sees it as a personal affront, a sign that her influence is being undermined. The underlying tensions, Phyllis versus Tessa. Phyllis's frustration grows as she begins to see Tessa as an obstacle in her own personal agenda. She feels that Tessa is stepping into territory that rightfully belongs to her, and she can't let it stand. As she confronts Tessa, the tension between the two women escalates. Phyllis is quick to remind Tessa that, while she may be good at comforting Daniel, she isn't equipped to help him navigate the real-world challenges he's facing. Tessa, for her part, remains calm and steady, refusing to engage in Phyllis's emotional tirades. She knows that Phyllis's reaction is based on insecurity rather than genuine concern for Daniel's well-being. What follows is a complicated game of power dynamics, where Phyllis will stop at nothing to maintain control over Daniel's future, while Tessa quietly asserts her own influence. Both women are invested in Daniel's success, but their methods couldn't be more different. While Phyllis seeks to manipulate and control, Tessa offers a more balanced, nurturing approach. The road ahead, a tense showdown as the conflict between Phyllis and Tessa deepens. Daniel finds himself at the heart of a battle that is more personal than professional. His struggle is not just about finding his place in the world, it's about choosing who he wants to be and whose guidance he will trust. Will Daniel succumb to Phyllis's pressure and return to the world of Abbott communications? Or will he choose to follow the unconventional path that Tessa has suggested, embracing creativity and freedom instead of corporate duty? Whatever path he chooses, one thing is certain, this emotional tug-of-war between Phyllis and Tessa is far from over. As Daniel's journey unfolds, fans can expect more twists, turns, and moments of deep introspection that will keep them on the edge of their seats. Ultimately, the storyline between Daniel, Tessa, and Phyllis is not just about career choices or family obligations, it's about finding one's true self in a world full of expectations and pressures. The Young and the Restless, Claire and Kyle's love story, a journey of trust, family, and uncertainty in The Young and the Restless. One of the most compelling dynamics currently unfolding is the developing relationship between Claire and Kyle. Their journey is a blend of romantic passion, personal growth, and the heavy weight of family expectations. As Claire makes the bold decision to move in with Kyle, their lives are irrevocably intertwined, but lurking in the shadows is the looming figure of Victor, Claire's grandfather, whose influence and control are anything but easy to navigate. This chapter of their story is filled with emotional moments, difficult decisions, and the search for a love that feels both new and true. Claire's unexpected decision. Moving in with Kyle. The relationship between Claire and Kyle has been slowly building, with sparks of chemistry and understanding between the two. Their connection has grown over time, and it seems as though they are destined to be together. However, Claire's decision to move in with Kyle takes both of them by surprise. For Kyle, who has been cautious and protective of his feelings, the speed with which Claire accepts his offer is unexpected. He's used to things moving slowly, but Claire's willingness to take this step so quickly shows a side of her that Kyle has yet to fully understand. Initially, Kyle finds himself feeling both excited and apprehensive. While he's thrilled that Claire is willing to commit more seriously to their relationship, he can't help but wonder if there's more to her decision than just love. As much as Kyle cares for her, he's also cautious about the complexities of their situation, particularly with Victor's looming presence in Claire's life. He's well aware of Victor's domineering personality and the way he influences everything and everyone around him, especially when it comes to his family. Victor's influence, a source of anxiety for Kyle. Though Claire is resolute in her decision to move forward with Kyle, her actions reveal that she's not blind to the challenges they will face, especially when it comes to her grandfather, Victor. While Claire insists that she's making the choice for herself, Kyle cannot ignore the fact that Victor plays an undeniably crucial role in Claire's life, and this fact hangs over their relationship like a dark cloud. Kyle's anxiety stems from his understanding of the immense power Victor holds over his family, and especially over Claire. While Claire insists that her decision is purely her own, Kyle can't help but wonder how much Victor's approval, or disapproval, will affect their future. In typical Kyle fashion, he tries to get Claire to see the potential dangers of challenging Victor. However, Claire stands firm, making it clear that she's well aware of the risks but is willing to face them for the sake of her relationship with Kyle. For Kyle, this creates a sense of unease. He's used to playing by the rules of the Abbott family, where expectations are high, and family dynamics are critical. The idea of going against the patriarchal figure that is Victor Newman feels like an impossible hurdle, one that might lead to greater complications down the road. But despite his worries, Kyle cannot deny the deep affection he feels for Claire, and he remains torn between his love for her and the looming reality of Victor's influence. Claire's confession, love and self-discovery. As Kyle struggles with his internal conflict, Claire finally opens up to him about her feelings. In a heartfelt moment, she admits that she loves him, despite the uncertainty that still surrounds their relationship. However, her confession also comes with a layer of vulnerability. Claire hasn't experienced love in the same way Kyle has. She's not someone who has fallen in and out of love over the years, and she's never had the opportunity to experience a lasting, deep connection like the one she shares with Kyle. This leads Kyle to question the authenticity of Claire's feelings. How could she truly know what love is if she's never loved anyone before? His doubts stem from his own experiences and his understanding of love as something that grows over time and through shared experiences. For Kyle, love is not something that comes easily, and he's afraid of being hurt again, especially if Claire's feelings are born from something more fleeting than genuine affection. But Claire, ever confident and articulate, reassures him. In a touching speech, she explains that while she may not have loved anyone before, she knows what she feels for him is real. Her words resonate with Kyle, and he begins to realize that love doesn't always follow a predictable path. Sometimes, love can be discovered in the most unexpected places and at the most unexpected times. Claire's unwavering belief in their relationship slowly chips away at Kyle's skepticism, and he finally admits that he loves her too.